volleyball venue is jumping here at Atlanta Beach. An All-American final, Karch and Steffes. Winning game one, Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh. Wearing red, getting set for the start of game two. It's best 2 out of 3 game format, each game to 12 points. Dodd and Whitmarsh need to win this game to send it to game 3. Then what would happen?
Well, we go speed scoring in the third game to 12. No cap there, no 12-point cap, have to win by 2. Dodd and Whitmarsh got a side out here. Just get their offense going. That is exactly happened in the beginning of the match. Steffes keep catching Mike Dodd, leaning into the middle, covering the hubby wife area, and Steffes with a sharp jumper on the sideline to get on the board first and immediately get Dodd and Whitmarsh down.
The best player on the sand so far has been Kent Steffes. A lot of hype about the other players, but Steffes, #1 in black, has been the man for his team. Karch has played well, but Steffes has played exceptionally.
Well, I thought a key to game 1 victory for Karch and Steffes was all the soft blocks by Kent Steffes, and when you have Karch motoring around in the back court, he's going to get to the ball and with his control give Steffes something he can score with.
When you're talking about motoring, Karch does have the biggest engine and the fastest motor, right? The fastest car?
Yeah, it's a Ferrari.
All right, Karch will get the ball. He's won 118 times on the AVP circuit and around the world. St. John Smith holding the all-time record at 139. Of course, Karch and Steffes, that publicized match against St. John Smith and Carl Henkel.
I asked Karch about it. I said, was that the biggest moment ever? And he said, no. He said, no. Beating the Russians in '88 was the biggest moment ever. 4 years of my life went into winning that one match.
Here's Kent Steffes, and Steffes hits it out. So a point to Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh, and the crowd wants to see it go into overtime every game. 12-12 comes alive a bit. 1-1, game 2. Best 2 out of 3, and the lob serve is long.
Dodd and Whitmarsh will not jump serve. You only see it in the most infrequent of cases, and particularly inside this enclosed stadium. There is no wind. All the wind above the stands. That's why you saw some sky balls from St. John Smith earlier in the tournament. I don't think either of these two teams will use that tactic.
Steffes, a dig, 40 feet up. And he keeps it in play. Here comes Whitmarsh in the white hat. Down the line he goes. Mike Whitmarsh gets his 9th kill. Karch and Steffes serving the big man as much as they can. And now he will serve. First tournament with Dodd, San Diego back in 1993. Tim Hovland, Mike Dodd's partner, had dumped him for, interestingly, St. John Smith. So Mike Dodd did not have a partner, and he signed up the big win. And they have been a very successful team on the tour ever since.
Mike Dodd was going through a terrible low point in his life. His father was seriously ill with cancer. He was having some viral infection problems, had knee problems. People were saying that he was finished, and that was years ago. And just a brave competitor, and like Karch, Karch, like all of the athletes out here, of course, who've made it into this level of competition, a huge heart. He's got tremendous support from the rest of his family, and now at such an advanced age, playing such great volleyball.
1-1, game 2. Karch and Steffes of the USA won the first. And Dodd and Whitmarsh of the USA trying to come back. At the Olympic trials, once again, Dodd and Whitmarsh crushed Karch and Steffes and did it impressively, 15-8. Karch and Steffes, their strategy that day, hit the ball hard. They only hit 2 softballs all day, according to the statistics, as Dodd lands one on the line. Everything else was a hard spike, and Dodd and Whitmarsh ate that up.
Well, Whitmarsh in particular was really on his game, had struggled, as I mentioned early in the year, but Mike Dodd pulled his partner aside and said, look, Whitty, you're not getting over the net. You jump so great, you've got to get way over the net and take away angles. I don't know where you're blocking and what you're taking away, so I don't know where to go defensively. No better example than at the Olympic trials, but we've seen Whitmarsh be not that effective in intimidating a blocker so far in the Olympics, and I talked to him about it earlier. He says, hey, I really haven't found it. Hopefully today.
1-1, game 2. Whitmarsh, and Whitmarsh punches it through. 11 kills for Mike Whitmarsh, who once drove a limousine for a living. He was turned on to that by Tom Chambers, the NBA player.
I'm assuming the Chambers owned the limo.
He had a direct connection to the limousine service. Kent Steffes chopping it inside, and the score remains 1-1. Steffes is 27 years old, a UCLA grad in economics, very bright. Started playing the stock market at the age of 12, very worldly. Gets up in the morning, eats breakfast, reads the Wall Street Journal, and gets ready for his day. Here's Dodd, and Dodd catches Steffes moving. Game 1, Karch Steffes. Game 2, 1-1. Men's gold medal final. Mike Dodd, Mike Whitmarsh in red. Battling Karch, Kent Steffes in black. Karch getting served early. And now Dodd and Whitmarsh changing it up. So Karch will go back to serve. You mentioned the 1988 Olympic Games against the Russians for Karch. Karch said that was the most stressful 2 weeks of my life. Here's Whitmarsh. Karch on the horse. And Dodd will get there easily. Trying to save point. Dodd, yes.
Dodd and Whit having a friendly moment here. Whit, of course, knowing that the rules for setting very loose here in the Olympic Games, a different interpretation of that ball handling skill, and they exchanged a friendly glance after this play. Watch this one get, chucked up there. Doesn't look so bad on the replay, but Karch and Whit look at each other and say, well, that would not have gone on our tour.
1-1 is the score. Dodd and Whitmarsh, and Kent Steffes thunders one through.
We're talking about Kent Steffes' interest in economics, an avowed Republican and conservative. Newt Gingrich and he have corresponded. And if you see Steffes,
he loves Newt.
He does. And if you see Steffes at the Republican convention, don't be surprised. Tell you more about that after this play.
Hey, come on, Kent.
Steffes is there. Dodd with a beautiful dig. And he puts it away.
Dodd keeps the score tied with the Chester 95 Defensive Player of the Year at the age of 37. And Whit has improved so tremendously as a volleyball player, scooping that ball up, using the wind a little bit, getting it right on the net. Karch Steffes, neither of them there to block.
Dodd could not reach it. Side out volleyball, getting back to possessions. 1-1 is our score in game 2.
Karch back to serve, and I was telling you about Kent Steffes a little bit. And if you see him at the Republican convention, he was asked to go to San Diego and put on a volleyball exhibition. They were going to pay him. He says, don't pay me. Just give me a credential. Let me on the floor. I want to be down there. I want to have some impact. So you will see Kent Steffes, who's a 6'5" millionaire walking around. It's Kent Steffes.
If I know Steffes, he'll be speaking at the Republican convention before long, maybe even this year if he gets his way. He's very determined. 1-1 game 2. The young Republican, Whamma. And now Steffes going back to serve. Once named one of America's 50 most beautiful people by People magazine. I think Randy Stokos was named that once, and I believe St. John Smith also got the honor. Those are the only 3 volleyball players. And into the net is Whitmarsh, so Karch and Kent get a break there and a point. They lead 2-1.
Stuck on ones for a long time. Dodd and Whitmarsh were doing exactly what they needed to do, keeping Karch Steffes off the scoreboard. This is a bad pass. Bad pass leads to the net violation by Mike Whitmarsh.
And the serve is just wide. Serving has not been a big factor so far, as Paul Sunderland mentioned. Virtually no wind, very muggy. Rain, I believe, has stopped, and Whitmarsh will serve. 2-1, Karch and Kent. And right on the line. That is the placement, and a very interested spectator. The winningest player of all time, St. John Smith. Was he marvelous in that match?
It was great. It was great. Smith, also 39 years of age, as you just mentioned, the winningest player of all time with 139 victories.
And arch enemy of Karch, although his wife the other day came up and said to me, Chris, St. John does not hate Karch. And I said, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. But there is a lot of animosity there, a lot of rivalry, and well, tremendous competition, as we saw in that 17-15 match. Here's Karch. Dodd with a dig, back to Steffes. 2-1, Karch Steffes lead. Whitmarsh. Karch now, and Dodd will run it down easily. Mike Dodd. Got it. Patty Dodd and Dallas Dodd and Dodd Country responding in the stands.
They like what they see, a tie score early in game 2. Of course, Dodd and Whitmarsh got off to a very sluggish start, and that cost them game 1. This is the first long rally in quite some time that Dodd and Whitmarsh have won. Dodd covering the court exceptionally well. Look where this ball lands. You think he's hit that shot a few thousand times?
So Karch and Kent dominating game 1. Different story here in game 2 as we're tied at 2. Pomeranch is here. Gold medal Olympic beach volleyball match. Karch Karch, Kent Steffes from the United States battling Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh in red, also from the United States. The All-American final. Canada got the bronze. And here is Karch Karch. And Whitmarsh starting to get to Karch. Here he goes again. Dodd with a dig. Karch jump set. Steffes. And Steffes hammers it. The play definitely picking up.
Well, this is at such a high level. I mean, how many guys are out there anyway? It seems like every time somebody hits a ball, a defender or a blocker is there to get in the way. These players know one another and their tendencies so well. And you have some instinctual players out here. Karch and Kent, Mike Dodd, wonderful defensive players. And although Whitmarsh took up the game very late after his basketball career, in the last 2 or 3 years, he has become an outstanding all-around volleyball player, whereas in the beginning he was a great athlete and a tall athlete learning the game.
Mike Whitmarsh serving, and they're working on Karch. Whitmarsh confidence against Karch. Karch cutting inside. If Karch Karch does have a weakness, Paul, it is, I think, sometimes his shots are not precise enough. He tends to lag them out there in no man's land.
Well, I think one of the things that's really helping Karch Karch with his side-out game, quite frankly, is the setting, the overhand setting of Kent Steffes. Usually because of the tight interpretation of the rules, and I know I've mentioned this before, Steffes would be forced to bump set almost every ball. He's being incredibly consistent and accurate with his overhand setting right now. And at the net, touching balls, soft blocking, this time with the stuff against Mike Whitmarsh for the score.
First block for Kent Steffes. Karch and Steffes go ahead 3-2. It's a game to 12. If Karch Steffes win it, they get the gold. Steffes, he got a facial. An early trip to the beauty parlor for, at one time, one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. Ouch!
Well, you know, he was on that list very early in his career before he took about 50 of those. 50 of those will knock you down to number 100.
Kent Steffes actually playing paintball one time, fell in a ravine and cut his face. After that, people didn't call him up anymore. They started looking for other volleyball players. He's got about a 10 stitch scar on the right side of his face. Steffes, and Steffes pounds it through.
Steffes 6 kill, banged off the grid, out of bounds.
Karch Steffes talking it over. Not really a strategic team like Dodd and Whitmarsh. They kind of just play volleyball.
Well, some of it is dictated, of course, by their ability to jump serve. They hope to score some points and are not right now so concerned about getting the ball right at Whitmarsh or right at Dodd. Want to hit hard serves and try to take over and take Dodd and Whit out of their side-out game and create some errors, just like that constant pressure.
Hitting error by Mike Dodd. So Karch and Steffes take the lead, or I should say extend their lead to 4-2. Steffes continues to serve. Steffes, little alligator dig, chomping. Dodd on the line. Mike Dodd.
Wow, that was very close. Good scramble again by Kent Steffes, who continues to play outstanding defense, and just the pressure of jump serving, pressure of putting the ball back on Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh time and time again and winning the long rallies. You saw that ball barely tagging the back stripe.
So here is Mike Whitmarsh. He has racked up 13 career wins, 12 of them with Mike Dodd. Won his first back in 1992 with Brian Lewis, the fiery one, in New Orleans. Here's Karch, up high to Dodd. Big play here. Oh, terrible set. Steffes back to Whit, And Whit kills it.
Point number 3 for Dodd and Whitmarsh.
Going over Whitmarsh is not an easy thing to do. High loopy, and that's exactly what Dodd wants to do. The extra 1/10 of a second to run under that ball and play defense. That's how they turn points so effectively.
Mike Whitmarsh serving Karch Karai. It's 4-3. Karai Steffes. And Karai cutting inside the block. Karai and Steffes, interestingly, flew in a Canadian team to practice against early in the week. They couldn't find an AVP team, so they got in touch with a kind of a sports agent in between, and he flew in a Canadian team that they practice against all week at their secret training site. Karch is there. Practice against Canada has paid off as Karai and Steffes get the 5-3 side change. The gold medal beach volleyball match, and Karai Steffes lead it 5-3. You know, Karch Karai has been asked hundreds of times whether he regretted not competing for the United States in 1992 indoors after winning golds in 1984 and 88. And he has repeatedly said no. Well, 1 week ago, Karch went to the Xerox dinner honoring the 100 greatest living American Olympians, of which he was one. He told me yesterday that when he looked at all the memorabilia and the pictures and started thinking about the all-time greats in Olympic history, he felt his first pangs of regret. His exact words to me: I could have been a 4-time Olympian. Wow. And so Karch Karai, trying to win his 3rd gold medal, not only could he have been a 4-time Olympian, theoretically a 4-time gold medalist, and there aren't many of those.
That is a very short list, but it was a different stage of Karch's life. He was just starting his family. The circumstances were different than they are now. I don't think he's looked back until you said just the other night.
Steffes right to Dodd, 5-3, and Whitmarsh whaps it down. Whitmarsh and Dodd trailed all the way in game 1 after trailing 6-0. Here in game 2, much more competitive. Now Mike Dodd will serve. Dodd and Whitmarsh serve a lollipop serves. That means if you serve too many, you're going to get licked. Steffes back to Karai. Dodd is there. Oh, and the coordination not there between Whitmarsh. Whitmarsh backpedaling. How difficult is that coordination between blocker and defender?
Between the good teams, it's not difficult at all. They go through this 1,000 times during the course of every tournament. The Olympic Games, of course, spread over 5 days, but most AVP tournaments in the United States, 2 days, now 3 days, and you play 3 or 4 games a day and practice together. That coordination not difficult, but it certainly is for the teams that are struggling against teams like this that have great chemistry and cohesion.
5-3. Karai and Steffes leading Dodd and Whitmarsh.
The first team to reach 12 points in the second set.
It is muggy. It is hot. Let me correct myself. It is muggy. It is cool. But it is also...
It's not that cool. It's into the mid-80s at least on the sand. We were up near 100 when the sun was out a little bit earlier with this cloud cover. It's cooled things off a little bit. There is also a little bit of a breeze as well.
Serving, not a big story for Dodd and Whitmarsh. Karai Steffes, 4 aces, so that's 4 points on the serve. 5-3, Karai Steffes in black, and a put away for Mike Dodd. There were a lot of people that thought Mike Dodd was washed up a while ago. He was the president of the AVP, the founding organization of volleyball. He was doing presidential duties, and he was also drinking 16 cups of coffee a day. So he had to quit his job as the president and give up the coffee, really to dedicate himself. You mentioned his personal problems, Paul, and getting his focus together. When he really started thinking about volleyball and got his mind right, he has been a great player ever since.
And getting Mike Whitmarsh was a key. Tim Hovland dropped Mike Dodd when he was going through all those problems. They were not having the same success that they had for years. One of the very, very top teams. Dodd made a good choice in getting Big Whit.
Here's Dodd right now. Dodd cut, and he got it. So Mr. Coffee of yesteryear with a cut shot, and suddenly we are tied at 5. And a timeout taken by Karch and Steffes. Game 2, 5-5 for the goal. Won easily, but Dodd and Whitmarsh responding here in game 2. Let's go down to Bill Walton.
All right, Chris, the rain has started to pick up again. Everyone in the crowd donning their rain gear. Nice to see that Whitmarsh and Dodd are starting to find their rhythm a little bit. As a veteran of many stress fractures myself, oftentimes in the early stages, once that thing warms up a little bit, because you can't really push off early, once it gets loose and going, you can start playing your game. But it's been all Karch and Steffes, and I disagree with you, Chris. I think Karch has been the best player in this match. He's been setting up Ken Steffes for those big kills, the way Bird would set up McHale on that great Celtic team. Back to you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much, Bill. United States on both sides of the court, the All-American final. Here's Karch. Beautiful play by Dodd. Steffes. Ken Steffes up high, he gets his second block.
Certainly one of Steffes' best blocking performances of this season, or any, with respect to a very, very important match. At 6'5", Steffes very physical, trains hard, so does Karch, and really blocking extremely well in this gold medal final.
Ken Steffes must have an earpiece in listening to Bill Walton talk about Karch as he got up high for that one. Karch will serve. 5-5 game 2 and a game to 12. Off Steffes, and he gets his second facial of the match.
I was noticing Bill's analogy, Larry Bird to Kevin McHale. Of course, I was thinking a little bit more of Magic Johnson to, of course, big game James Worthy. That one works a little bit better for me.
Dodd serve out of bounds, and now Ken Steffes will go back to serve. Really the first generation modern beach volleyball player. Serious approach to training, year-round lifting program, analysis of video, careful diet for Steffes, and he digs another one. Steffes puts it away.
1996 or 1966, you still got to hang in and take heat. Digging lips right here, and with a good bump set, and Steffes once again going deep middle. It sounds like it's easy, but if Dodd moves 2 feet to his right to take the cut shot, the deep middle's wide open, and if he moves to the middle, the cut shot is golden.
Steffes aces. So perhaps Steffes raising the level of his game up to the level of Karch. As a team, they are playing beautiful volleyball, and they lead it 7-5. The head man of the FIVB, the International Federation, Ruben Acosta right there, big smile, and blue shirt, Juan Antonio Samaros right next to him. It's going to be very interesting if Karch and Kent win the gold to see Ruben Acosta give Karch the gold medal. If that is the presentation, they are bitter rivals, bitter enemies on different sides of the political spectrum. Matter of fact, Laz Karch, the father of Karch, well, he and Ruben Acosta are like, well, as I said the other night, like Bob Arum and Don King. They do not get along.
I think that's a little bit mild in the comparison. Ruben Acosta will, of course, he'll participate. A little bit like Al Davis, of course, getting the trophy for winning the Super Bowl. The NFL didn't always like giving it to him, but he had earned it.
Steffes with another dig, and he dribbles it over. Karch and Steffes now just 4 points away from the gold medal. Karch at the net, Steffes, the impact player on defense. And Whitmarsh.
Really good angle shot by Mike Whitmarsh. Fake block by Karch and Steffes. The most balanced team, both about the same size physically. Karch about an inch shorter, both extremely good blockers, setters, ball handling. They trade off the responsibilities of blocking at the net. Mike Whitmarsh, however, carries that burden, as does Mike Dodd playing in the backcourt.
Karch cutting inside and putting it away. Just moments ago, yeah, Karch Karai, I saw him at 88 win the gold from the Ruskies, and he was no more animated then than he is right now. Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh trying to hang on and stay in there, and Dodd goes over the top.
Well, you know, as you get older, you have a family, you change your perspective a little bit. At the age of 35, I think this may mean as much or more to him than any of the other gold medals, to be able to playing at this level and contributing to the sport everything that he has in the United States and worldwide. 4 points away from the first men's gold medal ever on the beach.
Game 2, 8-5. Karai and Steffes, 5 aces in the match. That's been a big factor. Here's Steffes, and Steffes hammers another one. You know, it's kind of interesting when you play with Karai, Karai gets all the credit when you win. If you play with Karai and you lose, you get all the blame. And that's the situation Kent Steffes has found himself in for 5 years if they don't win.
But Steffes has never been tortured by doubt. It's not that he loves that situation or hates it. He doesn't care. He's one of the most confident people I have ever been around. Very strong-willed, very focused and disciplined, even when he was 19 years of age. Does not mind that role whatsoever.
Karch dinking over the top. The Karai family is here today in force. Of course, we showed you Laz Karai earlier. Laz not wearing the pink hat, but Jana Karai, Karch's wife, 2 sons, Christian and Corey. Laz, how staunch is Laz? He wears his AVP hat instead of the traditional family pink hat. Also their kids, Christian and Corey, hoping for the gold. Karch is there. Pinky hat, going to whack away. And Dodd dinks him. Mike Dodd. Karch, Kent on the move. It's on the net. And Karch puts it away. The Karai gang going wild. Karch and Kent get to 9.
There are such things as destiny. That set had a capital D written all over it, spinning it up from literally 50 feet from the net. Right on top for Karai to put it away.
Karch, Olympic gold in 1984 in Los Angeles. Came back 4 years later in Seoul. Chose not to play in 1992 because of family commitments, and he thought the team wouldn't be very good. But now in 1996, he is 3 points away from becoming the first volleyball player ever, indoors or out, to win 3 Olympic gold medals in quote-unquote volleyball.
Well, let's not forget Dodd and Whitmarsh. Remember Seal Beach a couple of years ago. Of course, their most miraculous recovery. They're just a couple of stuff blocks from a side change and being right back in this
one right there.
There's one. Dodd and Whitmarsh are not going to go away. This is one of these guys are like brothers. They can look at each other. They don't have to say a word and just know when it's time to make a big play. And Dodd has always been known to make huge plays. Watch for the dig here.
So Dodd and Whitmarsh block Karch. They dig Kent. Whitmarsh couldn't get any wood on it. Steffes backpedaling to Karch. And Karch hits it down.
Remember that play. Dodd with the dig. If it's 6 inches farther inside the court, Whitmarsh has got a chance to hammer it and to get to 9-7 and put the pressure on Karai and Steffes. That dig just 6 inches from maybe turning this match around.
Focused and ready at 9-6 is Karai. Whitmarsh missed it. And Karai and Steffes get their 10th point. Atlanta Beach, game 2, Karai and Steffes just 2 points away from the goal. Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh down to their final 2 points. They lost game 1, got way behind. They're down here in game 2, 10-6. The crowd is shaking. It sounds like an earthquake out here as they are expecting beach volleyball's first ever gold medal to be awarded.
We thought there'd be a lot of confusion on the part of the audience now that with 2 Americans, of course, teams in the finals, who would they cheer for? It wasn't going to be USA, but they have loved beach volleyball here in Atlanta throughout the course of the tournament, been sold out and packed standing room only every day.
Jana Karai and her sons. It is a wrenching time for families. Patty Dodd and her daughter. Karai and Steffes, the team of the 90s, they've won more tournaments than any other squad in the world. They've won more money than any other squad in the world. They have been named the kings of the beach virtually every year. And now they are 2 points away. Dodd and Whitmarsh, can they respond? Karch says no. No flag waving from Laz Karai. As gold medal point is upon us. Steffes will serve it. Whitmarsh. Steffes with a fabulous dig. Dodd digs back. Mike Dodd. Down the line he goes. Wow. Wow. Steffes had the swing for the goal. It would have been remembered in history, but he got done.
He crushed it, and Mike Dodd just making another so what dig, reading perfectly in the cross court. Look at Laz. He's wrenching here. Just took the red eye in from Santa Barbara last night. Has probably had no sleep.
Over the top. Karch hit it out. Make it 11-7.
7 serves 11.
If you're Whitmarsh and Dodd, do you serve Karai again?
Yes, it's been Karai's pattern to get conservative towards the end of games, not want to give up the big emotional play to the opposition. So he'll shoot around, gets that one cross court. I think that's the way to go. And historically, Dodd and Whitmarsh have had success that way in making some of their most memorable comebacks.
Rain coming down hard now. Karai camp nervous. But the greatest player in the history of volleyball will serve it up. Second gold medal point. Dodd off Steffes and gently placed out of the reach of Karai. So Dodd and Whitmarsh hang in.
If I'm Mike Whitmarsh, I would jump way into the angle on Karch Karai. Take that area away, whether he hits it or whether he shoots the ball, and let Mike Dodd dig the ball.
Mike Dodd threw the ball up. He almost threw it into our camera. He was going for the jump serve, and our cameraman moves it out of the way. The boom camera providing fabulous pictures.
We do try to bring it right into the action.
11-7. Karch, and Karch off Whitmarsh. So for the third time, Karch Karai and his partner Ken Steffes will serve for the goal. Whitmarsh and Dodd taking their time. Whitmarsh in the corner, wiping his glasses. Now he's back. Steffes will serve. And he just misses.
Just out of bounds.
Not by much.
Inches.
Dodd and Whitmarsh. Will they stay on Karch Karai?
They've served him a couple of times in a row. I think they'll go to him again, and that's where Whit has set his sights.
Here comes Karch. Dink. Dodd is there. Could be a point. Should be a point. And it is.
Point number 8 for Dodd. Whitmarsh's 14th kill. 8 serves.
You think of some of the comebacks that Dodd and Whitmarsh have orchestrated over the years, and Karai and Steffes take a timeout.
Smart timeout here by Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. The angle's been taken away. Watch for Karch to go high loopy all the way cross court into the corner. A much needed timeout.
You can do it.
She captured the hearts of an entire nation. The Carrie Strug story, the story of a fighter and of a passion that burns deeply in the heart of a young girl who never gave up. Always the bridesmaid, now the champion. Join us tonight for the Carrie Strug story.
One of the great comebacks in the history of American beach volleyball in Seal Beach. Last year, a couple years ago, Karch, Steffes, Dodd, and Whitmarsh. Explain.
Well, Karch and Steffes seemed to have a comfortable lead on the AVP Tour. There's a clock, and there were just 20-25 seconds left. Dodd and Whit had to score every time they served the ball. They were down 11-9. A dig and a score to make it 11-10. A dig and a block to make it 11-all as time expired. And then into sudden death overtime, Dodd with the dig, put the ball away. They come down, back from 2 points down in 25 seconds to steal the victory. One of the defining moments for the team of Dodd and Whitmarsh, but this would surpass that victory by a lot if they were able to come back.
Whitmarsh serving Karch. Karch, Dodd has it up off the left hand. And Whitmarsh touched it, so he had to shovel it over. Here's Karch, and Karch puts it away. Whitmarsh and Dodd were down 10-6. They now trail by just 3, 11-8. But we're playing a game to 12, and Karch, Karch, and Kent Steffes have their first chance for the goal.
You saw the Karch cheering section and family all on their feet, all but Laz.
Karch will serve it. Steffes, that is it!
The first volleyball player ever to win 3 gold medals. As we see, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from Mike.
Pinky hat pandemonium in the stands.
USA, taking 1 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history. Olympic beach volleyball.
Laz Karch in 88 in Seoul, Korea. Fully clothed when Karch won it. And now the flag unfurled. There it is. Oh yeah, Laz made the trip. And it was worth it.
Incredible drama. Dodd and Whitmarsh would not go away, but today it belonged to Karch, Karch, and Kent Steffes. Karch wins his 3rd gold medal. Kent Steffes was marvelous today in both games. They take it 2-0 and are the Olympic gold medalists.
Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh get the silver, so the Americans sweep the top 2 spots in beach volleyball. The gold and the silver, Karch, Steffes, Dodd, Whitmarsh.
Here we go.
In Atlanta, Georgia, are Karch, Karch, and Kent Steffes. They win the gold. Match point right here.
Dodd and Whitmarsh were not going to go quietly. It took several chances for Karch and Steffes. But it was Steffes at the net throughout the course of the day, blocking again. He had 4 stuff blocks, 4 aces in the match, and this was not just another tournament. This was just not just another season. This was for the gold medal.
Karch and Steffes, pandemonium on the sand. Happy winners. Let's go down to Bill Walton. Bill.
Absolutely, Chris. You speak about happy. I've got some very happy experts. Look at Karch Karach's hands here, just shaking.
I cannot stop. This is the most incredible feeling. Thanks to this guy and all the people who helped us prepare for this. He played an awesome tournament. My favorite play was that one from deep that hit the tape and rolled over. Luck was on our side today, and we got, when the breaks are falling your way, you got to take advantage of it.
Kent, it all came together for you. How great was your performance today?
Well, I mean, we played great as a team. I mean, we're both out here. The key to it was we didn't let Mike start off with blocking. We covered the blocks. And so we got out to that 4-0 lead. If he gets a couple blocks in the beginning, they get the momentum instead of us. Then the lucky plays fell our way, and boom, gold medal. I'm still shaking here, too.
This is your first gold medal. Your emotional state as we speak.
Well, my first gold medal was when I was 8 years old. My mom draped one around the neck when I saw Bruce Jenner win. And ever since then, I wanted to play in the Olympics and win a gold. And God, my dreams have all come true.
Karch, you've got 2 gold medals. Compare this one to 84 and 88 indoors.
Different situation. I mean, I'm playing against a couple of great guys from our AVP tour, Mike and Mike. It's like I'm disappointed that there even had to be a loser. It's too bad it couldn't just be a tie for the gold, because they're great players. We love competing against them, and it's a totally different feeling than playing against teams from other countries. This was an all-American final. That's the way we wanted it.
Chris.
You know, Karch is saying that there was a little bit of luck involved, and maybe on that one particular play there was, but with his history and the number of gold medals he has sitting at home now, there's a little bit more than luck involved when he plays.
I told you that they're really rocked down there. Both a whole lot of shaking going on down there.
Do you remember not so long ago when they announced that beach volleyball was going to be an Olympic sport, there were people who scoffed at it. I'm not sure you can find a better spectator sport around.
No, and the way they got ready for it, Karch and Steffes, they got sent a team in from Canada down, had a secret training site, and it all pays out in gold.
Congratulations to them.